Hello, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today we're doing our shaky cam interior review inside a 2017 Volkswagen Alltrack. This is a Golf, well, based on the Golf platform. It's a little larger than the Golf Sport Wagon in terms of its uh, ride height and ground clearance. There are also several other differences here. Primarily, it is a little more upscale. There's some deflection plates on the underneath, on the underbody to deflect off-road things, pebbles and whatnot. Just a few little things that make this a little bit more upscale than the Sport Wagon. The Sport Wagon also only has one trim level in all-wheel drive, whereas the Alltrack is all-wheel drive in all three of its trim levels. So, with that being said, because the primary question I get with this car is, well, why would I buy this instead of a Sport Wagon? A Sport Wagon is a couple $1,000s cheaper. Well, those are your reasons. So let's get started looking at the interior. Most of this will be familiar to you if you are familiar with the layout of the Golf in its upper trim levels. So you see we have automated headlights, the dimmers there, door locks, mirror controls, windows down here. I like these door handles, easy to get a hold of even when the door swung all the way open. Good sized drink holder down here, and of course sport pedals and whatnot down there. You can see that, and then you can see in this trim we have the I don't know what to call this, but it's kind of a chromed black. I don't know. So anyway, over here is your cruise control. This does have adaptive cruise control. This is how you set the distance for that. Volume control for the radio here. Over here you have your phone, telematics. I like that word. And page through menus and whatnot. So pretty basic, straightforward. This fast forwards, rewinds through tracks. It channels whatever you happen to be playing. Then you'll see this has paddle shifting. This is the 1.8 liter. Believe that's the only engine available for this vehicle. Over here you have the lighting controls. Over here, washer wipers, and it's the usual Volkswagen, so back and forth for the rear glass versus the front glass, and speed is controlled up here. Because it is adaptive cruise, they moved it here so you don't have the cruise up here like you would otherwise. Here we have the instrument cluster. So you can see I put about 466 miles on this car. In that, I have gotten very good fuel economy considering the weather we've had, which is bitter cold. You can see it's 33 degrees right now. That's a fairly warm day, fairly warm morning. We got a little bit of snow last night. But I've driven this through snow. I've driven it on dry pavement, highway, around town, etc., etc. Very good drive. I like the drive in this car. So you have the tachometer over here, you have the engine heat here, fuel's down there, speedometer up there, and then this is the driver information center. You can flip through several things on this screen. So if you use those buttons that were down here on the right, you can flip through and see what there is, different options that are available. So I've usually been leaving it on this. But you can look at, say, let me see. Oh, and this has self-parking, which is probably something that people would want to know. Another one that's not available in other vehicles, especially the Golf. So looking this way, you see pretty standard Golf layout for this. I like the look of this. This is a great screen, and this is not the nav screen. This is the step below it. So very nice to have this big clear screen. I'll turn it on, but the audio is going to come on, so I'm going to need to mute that. So you can see the screen is very bright, very clear. You can flip through several things. I'll jump to, let's see, jump to the car info. So you can see I haven't averaged very good miles per gallon because I've been driving very slow in town. I've only driven a mile since I started the car. That gives you an idea of what you can see on this screen, though. You can flip through a lot of great information there. Down here you see the buttons. These are virtual buttons that change according to what you're doing. Very cool. I like Volkswagen's new interface that I believe they came out with this last year, if I recall right. So going on, we have the spot where the CD player would be if you had a CD player. Here you have the bun warmers and climate controls. Pretty basic, straightforward climate in this. You can go up in trim level and get auto and dual and yada yada yada. Down here, perfect spot for your phone. There's even a plug for it right there. And then if you don't want to see it, or if you want to hide your MP3 player, bam, close the bourgeois cover. Here you have a shifter. This is the self-parking button. So you basically push this button, it looks for a parking spot. Once you find the parking spot, then you just follow the prompts that are on the driver information screen up there, and you maneuver yourself into that spot. The car will, like most of these assisted parking, I guess is the way to say it. It's not self-parking. Most of these assisted parking, like most of them, this one has you control the brakes and the throttle, and it runs the steering wheel to park for you. These are the parking radar right here. So good to know where that button is, because if you go through a car wash, you're going to want to shut that off. Otherwise, you're going to be listening to it the entire time. Driving mode up here. I have not noticed a lot of difference except between the different modes, except for the snow and ice mode really does make a difference, and the off-road mode does make a bit of a difference. And this is the engine stop start. So you start the engine with that, you shut it off with that. I shouldn't really say stop start because that's something else, right? Oh well, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Traction control right there. Down here you have your 12-volt plug here, a couple of drink holders, handbrake, a little spot to contain your stuff, I guess, is right here. All Alltrack models, no matter what the trim level, have this faux leather in them. You can upgrade this, but this is the base, so there is no cloth seating. Very nice. I like this. Like I said, it has bun warmers. I believe there is a cooled seat option in some of the upper trims. Again, this is not an upper trim, which I'm glad for. This is more of a volume trim. So here you're seeing more of the Golf interior. You can see though that it's a little more upscale, softer material, and just a little bit prettier. Not terribly so. I like the interior of this car though. It's very well done. Back seats are a good size. My kids left trash back there. Back seats are a good size, adult friendly, a little bit more cramped than something that would be competitive, like say in Subaru Outback, but at the same time you don't pay nearly as much for this car as you do for a Subaru. Great cargo area. I really like the cargo in this car. I was able to get 6-foot boards in here without having to move any of the front seats, just laying the back seats down and laying them in there. That's a pretty good thing. You could get 8-foot lumber in here very easily if you needed to, as long as it's not full sheets of plywood or something. But I had 2x4s and a few other things in here, no problems. So, great vehicle. I really like what Golf has done, or what Volkswagen has done here. Again, this is the 2017 Volkswagen Golf Alltrack. And this has been Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. I'll talk to you again soon.